Alright, in this video I want to demonstrate real quickly how we will actually joint the edge of a board. Now I've already gone and prepped this board a little bit by planing this flat and parallel to the thickness that I need. So I'm going to take a look at my edge grain and I'm going to pick the best edge or the best surface. Another way I can do that is put it on the actual table, the in-feed table. Notice if I put it here, I've got a rock on that, so that is definitely not my best edge. So here I don't have as much of a rock, so that's my best edge. Now, when we use this, we want to use the fence. Our fence is at 90 degrees to our table, both our in-feed table and our out-feed table. So we want to make sure that we are keeping that board up against the fence as we push this across the cutting blade. Now, the in-feed table sits a little bit lower than the out-feed table. So the idea here is as it's cutting and removing that material, this freshly cut surface will rest right on there and you will transfer that over until you have a nice flat cut edge. Now, the best way to do this as we go through is to hook your fingers around. Now, I will sometimes take my hand and push it here and hooking my thumb around the board. What I don't want to do is to get my knuckles or any part of my hand below this guard. I never want to do that. And I never want to put pressure directly over the cutting blade because that can influence my piece and cause my piece to not be flat as well. So I call this walking the board. So as we push through, I will push through with my right hand. When we get it there, I will transfer my left hand over till I'm over here, and then I will transfer my body weight and keep pulling it through. So that, or I will come through, we'll move it along here, I'll push it through. I even have push sticks that can be used so long as I'm keeping everything up against that fence. When I get to be so far away, then I'll transfer that hand over and I'll keep on going until I can get far enough over, and then I transfer the other one and I keep going. At all times, I keep that board up against the fence. Now, the big mistakes I see a lot of times is students come in here and they're actually cutting like this. Now, I'm exaggerating this gap here between the fence slot, but usually it's a small gap, or if they're not perfectly flat on the face of the board, they get that out and they just come here and move it through and they don't get a square edge. We'll be able to tell that pretty quick. So you want to watch for that and make sure that you do that. Just as one of those things that could possibly go wrong. So I'm going to turn this on. I'll demonstrate cutting for you so that you'll see it real quick. So I hard push, come up here, transfer my hand, walk the board over, we'll come back, we'll cut again, transfer, again, transfer and cut, shut the machine off, come back. I look at the surface, make sure I have a nice surface. You can even take your square, put your square up against there just to double check, confirm, make sure that you got a nice square edge, and you're good to go for the next step on squaring up this board. So that's a real quick demonstration of how to use our 8-inch Powermatic Jointer to true up an edge and make that edge square to the face of your board before when you're squaring up your board.